Hey y'all, it's your girl Jarius the Aquarius, and I have an exciting video for you because many of us can trace our galactic cosmic roots to LYRA. It is also very well known to be the cradle of humanity, and we're gonna, dissect that and get into it. So if you feel like you're a LYRA Starseed, leave like a lion down below, or if you feel like you resonated more with the avians, we're going to get into both of that. Leave like a bird below, or just leave a heart if any of this resonates, and we're going to get in more into the, specifically more of, the different kind of humans that eventually, progressed, how the human progressed into, and how we can relate that to how we see the physical features of humans today on Earth. So let's get into this. So LYRA was they had gotten to a very advanced state, in their consciousness, spiritually, physically, when they chose to be physical, right? And it was infiltrated by negative draconians that came from a different universe, because there was original guardian dragons here, but before, with the Draconian and the Lyran Wars, it was almost honestly, now that I think about it, I feel like maybe that's when the original guardian dragons of this universe fell in consciousness, or, chose to be a power, because some of them sided with the other Draconians from the other universe, and they infiltrated LYRA, and that devastated the Lyrans and the Vegans, which the Vegans, again, were Lyrans, just very polarized. So LYRA is heavily associated with symbolism as the heart, the lion, the bird. And here's a picture of the Ring Nebula, which is also called the Messier 57 of LYRA, and it's also known to be a portal to the ancient advanced civilizations of our late LYRA. So the past timelines that were basically destroyed, in a sense, if you connect with this portal, meditate with this portal, it's said that you will be able to tap into ancient timelines of LYRA that maybe you experienced, or maybe you could remote view it and just see it, even if maybe you weren't from LYRA. But a lot of us, not only just on Earth but up there in the cosmos, can trace our heritage back to LYRA, and the Ring Nebula is where a lot of us souls kind of stayed in, and really morphed our soul's mission, our soul's real, our soul essence. So LYRA's beginning. So I am referencing out of the book The Prism of LYRA by Lisa Royale, and I really highly recommend that book if you're into this, if you resonate with any of this, if any of this sparks your interest. She explains it better, and she explains it really well. So Royale introduces the idea of the dimensional infusion, where a portion of the whole passed through what she describes as the Prism of LYRA, a white hole within the LYRA constellation. This event is linked to the light passing through a prism, resulting in the fragmentation of consciousness into 7 vibratory frequencies or densities. Each fragment became consciousness on these different frequencies, representing the mass consciousness of Earth's galactic family. So some of us refer to it as the Big Bang, some of us can look at it as, creator breaking off into different fragmentations to experience itself. Here's a picture of the Prism of LYRA, and basically we know that the light is connected to the divine masculine, which is the part of Ka, and then you got the sound, which light makes sound, right? And sound is related to the divine mother frequency, and that is the part of Kam. So LYRA's beginning. So the cradle of LYRA is depicted as the initial seeding ground for humanoid consciousness. It is here that the first impressions of individual awareness emerge, setting the stage for the development of various civilizations across the galaxy. This seeding is not just a physical event, but a metaphysical one, involving the distribution of consciousness across different densities and star systems. So again, not only can we just trace our history back, but all over the cosmos, especially if they're more humanoid in form, if you connect with ETs and things like that, they're probably, again, some of our relatives from LYRA. So the felines and the avians definitely had a big hand in creating humans. So the felines, their origin, these beings originated in the LYRA constellation, often from the stars Avion and Vega. So there was a lot of feline beings around the Avion star and Vega star system. They are described as tall, humanoid beings with cat-like facial features, exuding grace, strength, and deep spiritual wisdom. Their role in human creation, they contributed genetic and energetic templates for early human-like beings. They embodied qualities like sovereignty, intuition, and guardianship, emphasizing the cultivation of free will and self-mastery. As creators and protectors, they were involved in terraforming and seeding planetary systems, including early Earth, by blending their DNA with that of other galactic races. So they're one of the seeder races. Spiritual function. They are seen as nurturers of the divine feminine, guardians of the heart, chakra, and keepers of ancient knowledge. Many ancient Earth cultures like Egypt remember them through feline deities such as Sekhmet and Bastet. So here's some cool AI-generated pictures. I tried my best to be specific as possible, but this is what they gave me with, like, I was like, LYRA and Starseeds, and yeah, I'll take it, right? So let's get into the avians. So what was their role in human creation? They introduced high-frequency consciousness codes, helping to evolve humanoid species toward light-body integration and spiritual awakening, often connected with sound frequencies, telepathy, and celestial navigation. Their input activated the higher mental and spiritual bodies of early humanity. What was their spiritual function? They are often linked to the blue avian archetype, guardians of wisdom and cosmic law. Their presence resonates through mythologies of winged deities, eagles, and bird-headed gods like Thoth, ibis-headed, and Egypt, and Garuda in Vedic texts. Not Texas. It sounded like I said Texas, but I said text with like a S, but avians and felines' hand in creation. So again, they had a big hand in making the human the first human being, right? So the feline and avian collectives worked together in LYRA to seed a diverse multidimensional human species that would experience free will, polarity, and ascension through integration. They each contributed different energetic frequencies. The felines contributed their grounding, nurturing embodiment of divine feminine and physical power, and the avians' expansion was cosmic awareness and guidance from higher dimensions. So the Tali. So, the core traits of the Tali, so this is when, later on in LYRA's history when, we weren't so much feline-like, but again, they were still our ancestors, they were still seen in some of us, but, this is generated pictures, again, AI-generated pictures that I tried to, make look like, people on Earth today, so because as so above, so below. And you can definitely see, once I go through these, you'll understand what I'm saying. But you can see the similarities and the different traits that play out in humans today. Although we do not have blue skin or green skin people, which I'm mad about. But anyways, so the Tali, their core traits, they were grounded, ethical, strong, and reverent toward nature and physical embodiment. Their appearance, they were darker in skin tones ranging from bronze to mahogany. They were athletic with curly or coiled hair, so they had more of a lion's mane, right? They often adorned in tribal markings or geometric tattoos. What was their culture like? Their civilization on Omenkara, so that was the planet they lived on, was based in sacred ecology, martial arts, sound resonance healing, and solar tech temples. They revered ancestral wisdom, solar consciousness, and the rhythms of planetary ecosystems. What was their contribution? Tali were guardians of planetary grids and protectors of sacred lands. They were builders of stable, sustainable settlements and were spiritually grounded in rhythmic, earth-based communion. So in their planetary communion, they were very in tune with the laws and the rhythms of the earth. So the Lani. So the Lani or Lani, their core traits were they were artistic, visionary, sensitive, and highly attuned to harmonic architecture and beauty. Their appearance was olive golden to blue golden skin. They were tall, 8 to 12 feet, with flowing red, blonde, or dark brown hair. So what was their culture like? The Lani inhabited Egoria, so the planet Egoria, and they had radiant, crystalline worlds of towers, temples, gardens, and reflective water bodies. Their societies valued the sacred arts, cultural memory, and collective ceremony music, sacred dance, and language were gateways to source. So what was their contribution? They were the architects of crystalline cities, integrating multidimensional frequencies into structures. They created environments that elevated consciousness through beauty and coherence. So the Norse. So their core traits was they were mystical, feline, or like bird-featured. They were introspective, peacekeepers, and interspecies communicators. So they were kind of like more of the humanoid species that kept the feline or kept the avian type look more. So their appearance was they were either olive or bronze skin with angular feline or avian eyes. Some had like feathers, fine fur, or elongated pupils. They had an androgynous beauty and ethereal presence. Culture. So the Norse civilizations were deeply devoted to inner wisdom, cosmic balance, and ceremonial life. Their cities were built in harmony with natural ley lines and crystalline structures, serving as hubs for interspecies diplomacy and vibrational healing. What was their contribution? Norse kept ancient libraries and Akashic records. They were spiritual intermediaries, guiding emerging star races toward peace and alignment with universal law. So the Ahil, I hope I'm saying that right. So their core traits, they were highly intellectual, telepathic, diplomatic, and advanced in spiritual and quantum sciences. So their appearance is most frequently seen as pale to light golden skin. They were tall and graceful with large crystalline eyes and a glowing aura. Their culture was like, the Ahil lived on planets like Avalon, and they inhabited the star around Vega, where consciousness, technology, sacred geometry, and harmonic healing temples formed the core of their societies. Their leadership operated as divine councils akin to a spiritual unified governance. Not authoritarian, but consensus-based. What was their contribution? They were key in developing light-body templates, Merkaba mechanics, and interdimensional travel systems. The Ahil seeded many planets, becoming cosmic ambassadors across the galaxy. So who were the Greys? We can't leave out the Greys, because in the Prism of Lyra, Lysa Royale Holt says that the Greys, especially those from Zeta Reticuli, originated from ancient humanoid civilizations in the Lyra constellation. As these Lyra societies fragmented and spread across the galaxy, some evolved into the Greys, who became highly technological but emotionally disconnected and kind of cut off from source in a way. Their focus on survival and control led to genetic decline, prompting them to turn to cloning and eventually human contact to regain emotional depth and genetic vitality. Royal Holt frames this as a part of a larger journey to heal their fractured lineage and reconnect with their Lyran roots, highlighting the shared galactic origins and consciousness of all sentient beings. So here's, I don't know if this is specifically the apex planet, but I know she does describe the apex planet as eventually being destroyed by radiation. But the Greys mostly lived on a planet called Apex. And again, I sourced a lot of this from Lysa Royale's book and Keith Priest's book, The Prism of Lyra, an exploration of human galactic heritage. Oh God, thank you so much, Miss Lisa, for this book. It's changed my life, and I really recommend you guys get it too. I hope you guys like this video, and if you resonate with it, if you like this kind of content, subscribe, because I got more Starseed videos coming out, more about the galactic history. And again, you can also check out my link below. I have Galactic Starseed chart readings now for $55.55 on my Etsy. I really appreciate the love and the support. And I also, if you want to donate or help, or you like what I do, any and all donations are welcome. My Cash App is here too. And what else was I gonna say is, Omni love, absolute healing. Stay safe, stay shielded out there right now. We're going through a huge timeline shift, so, be graceful on yourself. And I love you guys, and I will talk to you in the next video.